What does it tell you about what Iran is perceiving of Donald Trump at the moment?
Well, the tentative alliance with Iran requesting Saudi Arabia's assistance is very interesting because we do know that Israel and the United States have historically played the Gulf states against Iran as a counterweight, using the sectarian division in a divide and conquer strategy in order to gain increased power and influence in the Middle East. And with respect to one of the things your other guest, Mr. Danny, said, we do know historically when an American president focuses on foreign issues, they are unable to give full focus to domestic issues. Another aspect of this, the American people perceive that Trump's cabinet was vetted for loyalty to Israel as opposed to competence. So now we see that many members of his cabinet appear to be less competent in fulfilling their duties as far as advising President Trump on military action with respect to Pete Hegseth. We see that Secretary of State Rubio is more influenced by his affinity for Israel rather than the overall peace process, which brings us back to Iran requesting Saudi Arabia's help. Even in light of the counterweight between the Gulf states and the Shia states, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states have a vested interest because if there is a wider regional escalation, we know that Saudi Arabia oil fields are at risk of airstrikes and bombardment if this regional conflict escalates. We do know that Qatar was bombed not once, but twice. First, they were bombed by Israel as a way to thwart negotiations with Hamas. And then Qatar was bombed a second time by Iran in a symbolic retaliatory bombing in response to Israeli actions and the airstrike that America carried out on Fordo as a result of Israeli pressure, and we now know as a result of Israeli blackmail against President Trump with their threat to use nuclear weapons. This was admitted by ex-CIA agent John Krakatow in an interview. And the other Gulf states are rightfully apprehensive at the prospect of increasing escalation. And this is because the United States Donald Trump is putting forth more effort and working outside the box to attain peace in the Middle East. However, he is having difficulty viewed as an honest broker because many of our initiatives appear to just solidify Israel's military control against Gaza, over southern Syria, over southern Lebanon. So Trump is making progress. He is engaging in greater negotiations with our Arab partners than previous presidents. However, as an honest broker, Trump is hindered and his cabinet is hindered by our loyalty and willingness to act as an arm of the Israeli military. This is something that Trump needs to resolve, especially because it's damaging him politically at home and is thwarting his efforts to make peace abroad. We do see that Trump is relying to a greater extent on our Arab partners and in his negotiation efforts.